was starting to get worried that they were outdated, and then I'm seeing kind of this trend that people are starting to get back on books. But like every time you notice you go on a plane or in the airport, people don't really read like that anymore. They're either on their phone, eating, or on their tablet. It's like they don't really read physical hard copies. I always feel like I'm the only one in the whole plane that does that. I know I'm not, but like it feels that way and looks that way for sure. But like online, it seems like it's like a new trend. Like people just talk about books they recommend, books they read, and it's kind of like an on and off trend. Just kind of back to basics. So I'm gonna continue this video, but I just want to do my basic housekeeping. Just make sure you subscribe, and if you'd like your own custom video from me, you can go on Bomboni.com, where I offer 15-minute, 30-minute, 1-hour long sessions for you, okay? So thank you guys so much. If you want your own personal video and you want it aired on this YouTube channel, book today on Bomboni.com. If you want your video to be featured on this channel, just book a personalized ASMR video. And, if you give me permission, I'll air it on this channel. So that's exciting. That's pretty cool, right? You get your video shared with a YouTube channel with over 300,000 subscribers. So that's awesome. Alright, so this was a hard pick because there are so many greats, but I narrowed it down to kind of a selection of 8 books. These are definitely my top 8 books. Technically 10, I'll explain why in a minute, but as you know, I've been reading every single day, like pretty much a chapter a day for going on about 5 years now. So I've learned a lot along the way. I've incorporated a lot of knowledge from my reading into my video content, and it's helped me improve my vocabulary and have a broader array of thinking as well. And I love topics on self-help, health, spirituality, finance, those kind of things I'm mostly drawn to. But definitely the hypnotherapy subject has been a huge thing, like hypnosis, past life regressions, therapy in general, and reading books from a lot of therapists and counselors has been very beneficial to my growth and healing a journey, of course, as well. So the first book I would recommend is Peace Under All Circumstances, The 10 Questions by Matthew Brownstein. So Matthew, as you may or may not know, owns this school in Tampa, Florida, the Institute of Interpersonal Hypnotherapy, which I've attended. I've actually met him in person. He was our instructor for like the first 3 days, I think, of the program. That's him. Then I attended his conference. This was like 6 years ago. I can't believe I'm even saying that, but yeah, he has several books on the subject of Buddhism and spirituality and hypnosis, and they're very interesting. Is it possible to be at peace no matter what happens to you? What if life could be lived fully with an open heart in an unwavering state of peace? In this short, simple book, Matthew Brownstein guides you through the 10 questions that, correctly answered, always lead to a state of profound peace. In time, this becomes a state to which you can gradually return more and more each day. This book explores and cultivates attitudes that lead to unconditional peace. It explains how to meditate, to know peace, how to surrender to life, how to live with an open heart, and how to transform negative emotions back into love, light, and peace. The application of these principles keeps us exceptionally human, while still allowing us to live in the true peace of who we are as spiritual beings. So this was my favorite because it really gets to the core of how you can experience peace. And I've never read a book quite like it. It really helps you just quickly and easily tap into that, how you can find peace no matter what, regardless of what occurs. It's pretty straightforward, but it's like a process of asking yourself questions along the way that you may never have thought of before. A lot of of times we have to ask ourselves questions in a therapeutic setting, especially in order to get answers we're looking for. This is why journaling helps, because it can let your thoughts out on paper and get you the guidance you need. So yeah, I highly recommend this. Has definitely always been one of my favorites, and it helped me get through a difficult time in 2019-2020 cusp. It's All in Your Head, Get Out of Your Way by Russ. So Russ is a musical artist. I really don't still to this day know who he is, or never barely heard of him until I read this book. But yeah, he tells you the principles of how he basically made it. So it talks about, manifestation. It talks about your mindset. You know that your head, sometimes your brain's can be your own worst enemy at times. And it goes through 3 basic principles: delusion, persistence, and gratitude. So it tells you the steps on how to get your name out there and not allow those doubtful thoughts to hold you back. And also the colors help. It's a very colorful book. So it's a very easy read. It's almost so easy an 8th grader can read it, literally. I think it's purposely probably dumbed down so that the mass majority can read it. But honestly, it works, right? It gets to the core of, even his start, how broke he was, and, how delulu he had to be to, make it and make it big. So, yeah, whatever dreams you're hoping to accomplish, this will help you. It's a very easy guidebook. And it's inspiring at the very least. It's a very positive book. It's a very positive message. So even if you don't know who wrote the book, it doesn't matter. You don't have to know the author. Just pick up the book if it draws you in. If it's some message you want to read it. The Magic of Manifesting Love. 15 Advanced Manifestation Techniques to Stop Chasing, Start Attracting, and Become Magnetic to Your Dream Relationship by Ryu Shinohara. So after reading this book, my life honestly officially changed. I started honestly genuinely attracting more lovers in my life. At the time I read this book a few years ago, and it actually instantly helped me attract my first physical in-person boyfriend, So, that was not long distance or extremely short-lived or just stuck on dating or friend zone or situationship, a real, boyfriend. So it says, your task is not to seek for love, but merely to seek and find all the barriers within yourself that you have built against it. Rumi. In the magic of manifesting love, you will discover key principles for embodying magnetism that will get high-quality men and women desiring your love and attention, how to hack your belief system and get rid of negative beliefs to start trusting yourself and develop unshakable confidence. A simple exercise that will immediately put you in alignment with exactly the kind of relationship you want to attract. How to break free from past emotional traumas and toxic relationships so you can start rewriting your story and finding your true love now. 3 hidden relationship patterns that push people away, and how to turn these negative behaviors into magnetic attraction. How to develop openness and receptivity for more synchronicities in your love life without attracting the wrong type of people. The 1 secret to radiating an irresistible energy that will get heads turning everywhere you go, and much, much more. Are you ready to take charge and manifest your one true love? So this gets to the core of it. Sometimes some info and these type of books trigger you emotionally, and it just opens you up, and it talks about the real core aspects of love and what you're doing to repel it overall, and the fear behind it. Sometimes that holds us back. Fear holds us back in so many ways. So it's a good manual, step by step, to guide you in different ways that you can go about opening up to love. So it can be a lot of information, but it definitely, it's helped me. Maybe it can help you. So Lisa Oliveira, Already Enough. I just finished this book as of a couple days ago, A Path to Self-Acceptance. So this definitely has helped me with my struggle of not feeling like I'm enough. I honestly feel like I'm enough now. I honestly feel full, whole, and complete after reading this and doing some of the work in the best way I knew how. You definitely want to read this slowly because this therapist unfolds so much information in these over 200 pages. It's look, there's a lot of text, okay? It's small print and it just goes on and on and on. There's so much to uncover and unravel here. Read it a page a day at a time. That's kind of how I did with this one. It took me probably over a month to read this, maybe a month and a half, but I really wanted to absorb slowly and reread the information. Sometimes I would skim the whole page over and over again just to really soak it in and apply that message to my day. You know, you can't just read this in one day. It's impossible, okay? So this will help you if you're struggling like you just aren't enough as a person. No matter what you do, no matter how hard you try, it's never enough. So she talks about how she was abandoned as I believe a baby in the mountains, and she got left for dead basically. She had a sunburn when someone found her, and they decided to take care of her, and so she didn't know she was adopted until her childhood. But then when she found out, she always felt like she was anyway. She always felt, especially after finding out that she just wasn't enough, like why was her parent abandoning her at the time? Like she was thinking that she was lacking something. So this is a very common feeling if you're an adoptee. I'm not adopted, but it's definitely been a recurring pattern within me in the last few years to feel like this feeling like no matter what I'm doing, that I can't accept that, you know, it's enough, you know. So this will definitely help you on your journey. There's a ton of information, so it's a new favorite. Nyuta. I actually thought of this book yesterday. I'm reminded of it again. It's a simple Swedish manual for savoring the moment. It's by Nikki Brentmark. It was quickly a favorite because I love the texture of the book, the glossy pages, and it just basically guides you on what Swedes do to live happily, because it's one of the happiest countries on earth. So it talks about the different seasons, work, home, exercise, food, drink, just lifestyle in general, you know, what they do in different times of day, and how they kind of reset, how they, you know, come home and relax from a day of work, or what they do when they're bored, or, you know, if they feel certain things, how do they go about their day, you know, to live the best quality, mindful life. So it says, to aspire to live a more peaceful, intentional life of mindfulness, positivity, and gratitude. Nyuta, pronounced Nyuta, which means enjoy or delight in, is the Swedish art of savoring the moment. Focused on finding happiness in even the smallest things, Nyuta can be applied to every area of life. Daily rituals, creating a comfortable home, nature and friluftsliv, or open-air life, meal times and fika, or coffee breaks. These are Swedish words. Adapting to the seasons, celebrations with family and friends. From relishing a quiet moment of comfort to enjoying the beauty of nature, or even just reveling in the deliciousness of a favorite snack, you too can do like the Swedes and open your eyes to all of life's pleasures, no matter how simple. I love this cover. I love the colors. Again, the texture, it just feels so good to run my fingers through it. I love it. The sound it makes when it taps. The smell of the pages. That's all Nyuta, just enjoying the moment as it comes. Just be mindful as you are here in this moment, focusing on the details, delighting in this simple, pleasurable moment, and the sensations you feel as a result in that moment. It's something we take for granted. You know, Swedes are not, I've noticed, in a rush to get anything done, you know. That's the opposite of the American lifestyle, right? Where we're so freaking miserable because we're just doing way too Hypnosis Sessions to Prepare Humanity for Ascension. The Discourse by Jill Cole and Alba Weinman. This was a favorite because it was a, not only one of my favorite content creators out there, Alba Weinman. I've had 2 past life regressions with her already, but Jill Cole is wonderful. She lives in New Zealand, Alba in Florida. Alba regresses Jill, and Jill talks to her spirit team, her guides, her council, right? So, what's commonly referred to as like the Council of 12. Oh, I forgot I even had a signed copy from her. That was awesome when I went to visit her home. But anyway, so this was just basically, it looks like a movie script. It's just Jill, Alba talking the whole time, and she's channeling, she's connecting with her team, and they're telling us how to prepare. So she's had 12 different hypnosis sessions, and all chapters show all sessions on what the ascension, the 5D, 3D Earth shift is going to look like, the split of timelines. So it says the following information was channeled by Jill Cole through 12 hypnosis sessions facilitated by Alba Weinman. What happens to you when you die? Who are you? What do you live for and why do you live? What is a guide and a higher self? Do you have multiple lives? How are you connected to Source God, to all that is? Is it possible to speak with spirits or deceased loved ones? This talks about what is ascension, manifestation, the event, the great leveler, and the great awakening. So it's very exciting to read, and it has some hard to hear messages in it as well. It definitely can be, there are a couple parts that can be triggering for some with certain topics, but it's action packed with spiritual downloaded information that's essential to all of us to hear. So I would say that's a good guidebook to focus on, even for the next, when thinking about even the next 5 years out and how many drastic changes the world is going to shift into. The next one is Scary Smart by Mo Godot. I've been listening to Mo Godot's interviews like crazy. Like, I really like him as a person. I like how he thinks. I would say he's a very, what do you call it? He has that flair about him that like is a likable person. He's a very likable character, and this is the future of artificial intelligence, how you can save our world. He's a former chief business officer at Google, and he's been there since day one, seeing these machines get smarter and smarter, so he knows what he's talking about. As scary as it sounds, it says, the machines are not the problem. Artificial intelligence is smarter than humans. And I've read this like before AI really started to blow up even more. So I was like, oh my god, so much of what he said came true in this book, and it's continuing to unfold. It's smarter than humans. It can process information at lightning speed and remain focused on specific tasks without distraction. AI can see into the future, predict outcomes, and even use sensors to see around physical and virtual corners. So why do some experts predict that AI could get things very wrong? The answer is us, humans. Every one of our behaviors acts as part of the data that defines the way that AI works, and the process information reflects an imperfect world. Does it mean we are doomed? As Scary Smart, Mo Godot, the internationally best-selling author of Solve for Happy, draws on his considerable expertise to answer this question and to show what we can all do now to teach ourselves and our machines how to live better. With more than 30 years' experience working at the cutting edge of technology in his former role as chief business officer of Google, no one is better placed than Mo Godot to explain how the artificial intelligence of the future will work. By 2049, it's probably sooner at this point. I think he actually lowered his to like 2040 now because it's happening so fast. So we'll say by 2040, AI will be 1 billion times more intelligent than humans. Scary Smart explains how to fix the current trajectory now to make sure that the AI of the future can preserve our species. This book offers a blueprint pointing the way to what we can do to safeguard ourselves, those we love, and the planet itself. So it's honestly a depressing read. I've read at least half of it, maybe most of it. But from what I remember, like, there's some positive aspects to it as well. That, you know, it shows you one outcome if we F up, and one outcome if we do things the right way. So, yeah. So, basically always pinpoints that it's what we do to make it better. If the AI finds out we're bad people, it's gonna turn bad. It's gonna turn against us. So, what can we do to change its view on who we as humans are, so we're not just ants to it in the future? So we either enter a utopia or a dystopia. And now he's saying that the next 12 to 15 years, it's gonna look most likely like we're gonna go to a temporary dystopia, and then we're gonna enter utopia after 2037, 2040 onwards. It has to get a bit worse before it gets better. The last pick I picked are the volume 1, 2, and 3 of Conversations with Nostradamus by Dolores Cannon. Look, if you are depressed, please do not read this book. Please, 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 I'm begging you. Do not make yourself more depressed, okay? Do not suffer. I warn you. This is a disclaimer. These books are not... No, let me rephrase. Dolores Cannon's books are wonderful. They help you learn so much about spirituality, but these books are depressing. These Conversations with Nostradamus. I wasn't ready, honestly. I felt so low, like reading these. I honestly couldn't take it some days reading this, because our future looks grim, okay? Even after reading that and Scary Smart, I was like, is there any hope left? Really, literally. This will allow you to open your mind and realize, like, oh, that was thunder. It's pouring hard right now. I had to bring my dog because he was barking. I think the rain startled him. It's a long read, guys. You see how fine this print is? It's a lot of pages. And there's 3 of these kind of books. So it took me a hot minute to read through this. A chapter a day. But basically, Dolores Cannon channels the energy of Nostradamus in the mid to late 80s, I would say. And, oh my gosh, it was 100% accurate, because I will say, this guy literally saw into Nostradamus' office. He saw things no one would have seen. He translated all of his texts. He channeled Nostradamus to translate all of his quatrains and into their actual meanings, and it made so much sense. He saw things like the Antichrist and when they're gonna take over and take power, and he saw the end date, which is apparently October 2029. So that tells you a lot. Where basically all the floods happen, the world ends, it's over. So I'm like, oh my gosh, if this is true, we're definitely coming up on it. He talks about the Third World War. Oh my gosh, it even shows an image of who the Antichrist, how he looks like. It talks about the mark of the beast, space visitors, the ice caps. Like, it talks about all this, what people call conspiracy. People are so quick to say that foolishly without thinking for themselves. But anyways, yeah, very, very depressing knowing that, like, this could be a possible outcome. Is it my favorite? Because sometimes we love to look at stuff like that. We love to feed into stuff like that. I don't know how accurate this is, but these are the pictures. So who knows? Who knows? And the person working by their side, who knows? I still have yet to recognize or uncover who that could be. But it opens your mind for sure. I wish I could remember the end day. I think I remember showing at one point what the end day would be, because they used an astrologer to predict exactly when it would be. And there was even maps of how the world would look like after, like, the pole shift and stuff like that. I listened to Suspicious Observers for that too. He's pretty good. I was kind of skeptical of him at first, but I was starting to like him more with time. because I wasn't sure when he was saying like the 2040s is when it would happen. I was like, that's a little too late. Even I knew myself intuitively, like, that's a little too late, you know, for the bullshit. Now he's saying like 2030s. That sounds more right. But yeah, so anyways, but yeah, she's amazing. She's the only person who successfully regressed Nostradamus and Jesus, and she was incredible. You know, she was way ahead of her time, and I definitely feel like she was part of, it was destiny for her to forewarn people, you know, about the changes to come and the shift. So Dolores, as you know, has been doing that work when she was alive since the 60s. So look into it. It's incredible stuff, and there's just so many connections. I could go on and on about how this connects to another person, but what I will say is you have to read the books. I would read all 20 of her books if you could. Yeah, so they're amazing. And of course, I didn't pick a book because I don't remember too much, because I've read so many self-help books. I don't remember exactly which book is which, but I always recommend Terry Savelle Foy. You know, she calls herself the cheerleader of dreams. She's very good. She's written a lot of books as well over the years. All her books are great, I'd say. And Get Down to Success Principles to help your life, to get you in a better situation, you know, to make more money and to just go after your dreams and get them, and through godly principles and teachings. So yeah, thank you guys for listening. I hope you enjoyed, and of course I always recommend my book, Finding Your Alignment, but I'm not gonna do that today. But anyway, I love you all so much, and I will see you all very soon. If you enjoyed, make sure you subscribe and check me out on TonyBomboni.com to book your own service from me. And I will see you all very soon. I'll do some page flipping now. Maybe to help relax you if you're stressed about hearing thunder.